Hi, my name's Steve Bann from Pure Golf Training, and I'd like to welcome you to the first of our 7-part series on impact. Now, impact is the part of golf that really is the only thing that is important, and yet it's probably the most misunderstood part as well. The only thing the golf ball can ever listen to is impact. Most golfers traditionally learn to play golf, I believe, the wrong way around. They start off with the setup, which includes grip, stance, ball position, posture and aim, and then they learn positions of the first position of the backswing and the second position and third position, and by the time they've been learning golf for 4 or 5 weeks, they finally make contact with the ball, with any thought to actually what they're trying to do at impact. Now, the reason that we probably don't do this is because it would be boring, but golf would be much easier to learn if we started from impact back. If we started with this is what the club must do at impact and started hitting 1 or 2 foot shots, and then as we got proficient at those we went to 3, 4, 5 and then learned to hit the ball further. Of course, most golfers are a little impatient. They want to see that ball fly off in the very first lesson. So today we're going to start with the 5 laws of impact and the 2 most important ones. The 5 laws of impact are, in this order, face. So face means wherever the club face is pointing at the moment of impact. Now, the part of the face that we always concentrate on is the leading edge, the bottom edge of the golf club. Wherever this is perpendicular to is the direction that the ball is going to head. So this leading edge is what we're going to be listening to and looking at when we're focusing on where the face is pointing. The second law of impact is path. Now, path is described by the direction that the club shaft and the club head are travelling during impact. Now, it's very hard to see what the path is doing at impact, so what we're going to learn as we move along in this series of 7 lessons is where the club is when it's parallel to the ground. Now, when the club is parallel to the ground, we're going to want it parallel to the line to the target, which means at the moment of impact the club is going to be travelling down the correct path. Okay, so we've got face and path. Now I'm just going to brush over the other 3, which is centeredness of hit. Now we know this from all sports, baseball, cricket, tennis, any hitting sport. You get your best result when you hit it in the middle of the racket or the bat. And in golf, centeredness of hit is about hitting it in the sweet spot of the golf club, making contact in the right part. And obviously that's very relevant and important in getting the best quality and consistency out of our shots. The next law of impact is angle of attack. Now, angle of attack controls the trajectory and the spin on the ball. If the club is coming down steeply, that's a steep angle of attack. Normally that will impart quite a bit of backspin, which is going to give us a ball that climbs up in the air, stays up in the air, and most times bites and stops quickly when it hits the ground. If we have a shallow angle of attack, which is something more like what you'd use with a driver, we're still going to have some backspin because the ball won't fly, but not as much. So when the ball hits the ground, it's likely to run and we're going to get maximum distance out of that shot. Now, the 5th law of impact, and even though it's very important when it comes to how far the ball goes, there's not much point working on this until we master the first 4 laws of impact. So we have face, we have path, we have angle of attack, we have centeredness of hit, and the 5th law of impact, which I know a lot of people are interested in day one, is speed, because speed is what controls how far the ball goes. So if the first 4 laws fall into place, the only way we can make the ball go further or shorter is to vary the speed. So they're the 5 laws of impact. That's today's first lesson. In our second lesson, what we're going to work on are the 2 most vital ones of those, and I'm going to have you hitting the ball any way you want to hit it within a couple of lessons.